All right, so let's start by drawing the word flowers here on this curved line. So I kind of like to put the F, make the F go pretty high above this line where the where is going to be. So you're just going to kind of chalk it in. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw the S in too, coming up about the same height as I came up for the F. And then we're gonna, if you saw my mock-up, it's gonna be a lot thicker than that, and we're gonna come back in and thicken these up. So we're gonna draw the L on this curve here. And the great thing about chalk is that you're just drawing this in. You don't have to worry about filling in the downstrokes yet. I think we got didn't quite leave enough room for our R, so that's the great thing here. We can just erase, scoot this W over a little bit. Oops. Always have plenty of chalk around and handy because that will happen, especially if you're a little heavy-handed like me. All right, so we can squeeze this R in here. Perfect. All right. All right, so now that we have this chalked out, we'll go back up and draw in the where before we fill in the flowers, because your hand may erase that some. So I'm going to sharpen this a little bit more. It's getting a little dull. And this piece is still big enough that I can use without getting another piece, even though I broke off the end. But you definitely want to have chalk handy. Okay, so now we have the where. We're going to connect that here in the script style. So what you want to do is go back in and fill these in, the downstrokes in, to make it a little bit thicker. And when you do modern calligraphy, the downstrokes are what you really, the thicker downstrokes is what gives it that pretty calligraphy look. So with chalk, that's super easy just to fill right in. You don't have to worry about how you're holding a pen or anything like that. All right, so I'm gonna sharpen my chalk again. Now let's go back in and fill in the flowers a little bit. To try to keep a nice straight line if possible there. We'll put that little serif on the curve. And you'll see me blowing the chalk dust off a little bit. That's just part of the chalk. And you want to try to keep your thickness of your lines fairly consistent. And this is where you can come in with your Q-tip. And as you're doing these letters, you can erase these guidelines. Let's go on and erase down here too. And erase right in there. I love chalk because it's so forgiving. You can just go back in if you don't like something and erase it very easily. Alright, let's erase all these guidelines. And you'll see your hand kind of will erase some of that. So that's why it's nice to go from the top and go this way. If you're left-handed, of course, it might even be easier for you to start this way and move backwards. Give that some thickness. And give that over just ever so slightly to give that R a little bit more room. He's feeling a little bit cramped in there, and it looks like I've got some extra room with my spacing. So let's bring him over just a little bit. And that will make more room for my R. That's much better. Let me sharpen this. I'm getting pretty dull. You can see my chalk. I'm kind of heavy-handed with my chalk, so it's getting pretty dull pretty fast. And the harder you push, the brighter white line will be. So if you're trying to get a pretty dark line, that's pushing hard is not a bad thing. Look in this downstroke here. All right, now I am going to take a pause and sharpen up a new crayon for this because this one's getting pretty dull and short since I've been keep sharpening it, and then we'll be right back.